Hi everyone, welcome back. My next sequence is all about the shoulder. So I'm going to try and work a really big stabilizer of the shoulder, our Serratus Anterior, which kind of sit just underneath the shoulder blades and kind of wrap around the shoulder blades. And they're really important not only to create stability, because our shoulder is quite an unstable joint. It can do loads of movements, but it doesn't have these big muscles to support it. So this muscle, the serratus, helps with stability and strength, and is really important in our yoga practice for so many different poses, such as down dog or plank, chaturanga, any inversions and arm balances. So that's what I'm going to focus in on today. Enjoy. So I'm going to start you in child's pose. So just reach your arms out in front, soften the forehead down to the mat. And then if it feels good, just release the forearms down to the mat as well, and just take some really big, deep breaths. Feel free to take a few exhales out through the mouth, if that feels good. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to reach your fingertips a little bit further forward. Come onto those fingertips like you're spidering the hands. And then what I want you to do is think about rotating the inner arm to the sky and the outer arm to the mat. So the inner arm being the bicep rotating to the sky, outer arm rotating down towards the mat. When I do this, I just get a really good engagement, but I don't actually feel like my arms are moving that much, but it should feel quite strong through the arms, through the shoulders. This is that activation of your serratus, so the shoulder blades are pressing apart from one another. Good, and then just make your way up to all fours. In your all fours, starting to move through some cat-cows. Inhale to drop the tummy, lift the chest. And then exhale, press through the hands round into the spine. Okay, just keep moving like this. Maybe thinking about closing the eyes. And really allow your breath to lead the movement here. Good, and then when you're ready, come to a neutral spine. What I want you to do here is isolate the shoulders, so no movements from the hips or the tummy. Keep them where they are, but what I want you to do is dip the chest down like you're completely letting the chest go. Let the shoulder blades move towards one another. And then you're going to press the mat away, round into the upper back, almost like that cat pose, but just thinking about the shoulders. And again, dip the chest down, let the shoulder blades move together. And then press the mat away, rounding through the upper back, shoulder blades move apart. Good, just do one more like this. Again, that's that activation through our serratus as you press the shoulder blades apart. Good, and then pause here, take a moment, feel that rounding of the upper back, and then we're going to step back to plank pose. So if you're me and you need to come a little bit further forwards with the hands, just reset and step back to plank. Okay, so your shoulders are supporting you here now. We've got that sense of spreading them apart from one another, and then we're lifting the belly up, switching the thighs on, making sure everything feels switched on. Okay, big breath in. As you exhale, I just want you to dip again, just dipping the shoulders down. So it's like the chest moves down, shoulder blades move together, and then you're going to press back up. Good, do a couple more of these in your own time. This should feel quite tough. Notice that activation through the muscles of the shoulders. Big breath in. And then exhale, lower knees and chest. Whew. Good, okay, from here, forearms onto the mat, Sphinx pose. So we're going to drag the hands back, lift through the chest, almost like you're trying to pull the hands towards you, and then see if you can peel the lower ribs off the mat as you lift and breathe a little bit deeper. Just notice that my legs are really active, so you press through the backs of the feet to activate the legs. Bum is switched on, bum is engaged. Good, okay, take one more big breath in. And then exhale, release. From here, arms down by your sides, palms face the mat, and then inhale, lift head, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the arms away from the body. Now lift the legs. Commit to lifting the legs and try and lift the thighs off the mat as well. Now, if you can, start to rotate the thumbs to the sky, so the palms now face the sides of the mat, and you're going to lift your arms even higher. Good. This should feel like you're working really hard through the back of the body. Okay, take one more big breath in. Exhale, press it back to a downward facing dog. First down dog, so feel free just to walk out your downward facing dog, maybe pedaling through the back of the legs, maybe swaying through the hips, maybe giving your head a little nod, a little shake. Whatever movement intuitively feels really good for you here. Good, and then from here, just bend the knees and look forwards. You're going to slowly walk the feet to the hands at the front of the mat and come into a ragdoll. So feet are going to be roughly hip-width distance apart. You're going to take hold of opposite elbow, and you're just going to sway the body from side to side, releasing through the back of the neck, little nod, little shake. Have a soft bend in the knees, first forward fold, always good idea to be soft through the backs of the legs and the lower back. And then we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the arms up and over the chest. Breathing into that chest. As you do this, can you think about pressing the upper arms away from one another? So it's like two opposite actions. Shoulder blades pulling together, upper arms pressing away. Okay, take one more big breath in. Exhale, release the hands down to the mat, heel toe the feet together. Take an inhale, root to right. So sweep to stand, you're going to come all the way up, reaching to lift through the chest, and then let's exhale, fold all the way down. Release the back of the neck. Okay, inhale, lengthen to your flat back, pull the shoulders back. And then as you exhale, you're going to plant the hands, step the right foot back, then the left. During your high plank, you're going to lower the knees and pause. So firstly, just make sure you've got that good strength, good sense of strength through the serratus. So you press the mat away, rounding the upper back like the shoulder blades are moving apart from one another. Okay, big breath in. And then as you exhale, I just want you to lower halfway down, Chaturanga Press Ups. Inhale, press back up. Make sure you round through that upper back. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, press back up. Keep the tummy engaged. Exhale, halfway down. This time, inhale back up and exhale, downward facing dog. From your down dog, inhale, tip forwards into a plank pose. Exhale, lower down, your choice, either knees and chest or chaturanga. Okay, big breath into your cobra or your up dog, your choice. Big breath out to your downward facing dog. And then from your downward facing dog, we're just going to stay here for 5 big deep breaths. And I want us to think about, again, this activation through the shoulders. So the inner upper arm, so your bicep, is rotating to the sky. The outer upper arm, your tricep, is rotating down towards the mat. Don't do this by moving the hands too much. Just think about it as an engagement through the arms and the shoulders. Once again, like those shoulder blades are spreading apart from one another. Okay, on your next exhale, just bend the knees, look forwards, step your right foot and then the left foot to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen flat back, and exhale to fold. Okay, inhale, sweep to stand. Reaching nice and tall, we lift. Exhale, fold all the way down, release the back of the neck. Inhale, lengthen through that flat back. And then exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, then the right. This time, your choice whether you want to lower the knees. We're coming into those Chaturanga Press Ups again. So just make sure you've got that rounded upper back to begin with. Big breath in. Exhale, lower down halfway. Keep the belly engaged. Inhale, press back up, rounded upper back. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, back up. Last one, exhale, lower halfway. Okay, inhale, pressing back up. And then exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Okay, inhale, tip forwards into a plank pose again. Exhale, your choice, knees and chest or chaturanga. Big breath in to a cobra or an upward facing dog. And then big breath out to your downward facing dog. Okay, so we've got that really strong connection through the shoulders as the shoulder blades spread apart. It's like the inner elbow, that crease of the elbow wants to spin to the front of the mat. For most of us, it won't get there. Mine doesn't. But it's just that energy, as if it's trying to open out to the front. Okay, on your next exhale, let's bend the knees, look forward, step the left foot, then the right. And then inhale, lengthen through a flat back. And exhale, soften and fold. Okay, inhale, root to rise, come all the way out, reach nice and tall. Exhale to fold all the way down, release back of the neck. Inhale, lengthen through your flat back. And then exhale, plant the hands. You can step or float. This time, your choice of Chaturanga. You can go knees and chest or full Chaturanga. Just a normal Vinyasa as you inhale to an up dog or cobra. And you exhale to a downward facing dog. Big breaths here. So thinking about the length in the spine, we want to lift the hips up and back. We want to allow the chest to start moving back towards the thighs, but draw the ribs in as you do that. So another huge stabilizer, your deep abdominals. So I talk about it a lot in our practice. Really, really important. Think about the ribs drawing in, belly drawing in. Okay, on your next exhale, bend the knees, look forward. You can step or float to the front. And then inhale, lengthen through that flat back. Exhale, soften and fold. Okay, this time inhale, chair pose. So just bend the knees, lift the chest, reaching the arms up. I want you to think about bringing some weight into the heels and squeezing the bum. So it's like the outer hips are pulling up and in, and the sitting bones are drawing up as well. Then just notice the ribs. If they're flaring out, pull them back in. You'll notice that lengthens through the lower back. Big breath in. Okay, exhale, fold and release, tuck the chin. Inhale, lengthen through a flat back. And then exhale, plant the hands. You can step or float. Your choice of Vinyasa. If you want to skip out your Vinyasa, feel free to anytime. We'll just meet in a downward facing dog. Once you're in your down dog, inhale, sweep the right leg up and back. And then exhale, step through, spin the back heel, take an inhale, warrior one. And then exhale, open wide to your warrior two. Shift that back foot. Okay, big breath in to reverse your warrior, reaching it tall. Big breath out to bring both hands down to the mat. Step back, Vinyasa, or straight to your downward facing dog. Once you're ready, inhale, left leg sweeps to the sky. Exhale, step through, spin the back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale to open wide to that warrior two. And then inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. Your choice. Knees and chest, Chaturanga, or skip it out. Big breath into your back bend. Big breath out to your downward facing dog. Okay, in your downward facing dog, you can stay here or you can choose to take a turbo dog. So if you're taking your turbo dog, you hover the forearms off the mat. And as you do that, you're going to draw the elbows in towards one another. As you do that, the shoulder blades should pull apart from one another. Good, this is hard. Turbo dog is hard. Keep those ribs pulling in. And then re-extend the arms if you came to your turbo dog. On your next exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Either step or float to the front. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Okay, inhale, chair pose. Bend the knees and lift the chest. Let's exhale, fold and release straight away. Inhale, lengthen through a flat back. And then exhale, plant the hands, step or float. Your choice, Vinyasa, or straight to a downward facing dog. Once you're there, we'll meet there. Inhale, right leg sweeps to the sky. Exhale to step through, spin the back heel, take an inhale, warrior one to lift. And then exhale, open wide to your warrior two. And then big breath into reverse and reach tall. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. Step it back, Vinyasa, or straight to your down dog. Once you're in your down dog, inhale, left leg moves high to the sky. Exhale to step through, spin the back heel, take an inhale, warrior one to lift. And then exhale, open it wide, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, reach tall. And then exhale, bring both hands down to the mat, stepping it back. Moving through your Vinyasa. Big breath into your back bend. Big breath out to your downward facing dog. Your choice. You stay in your downward facing dog, Or you start to bend at the elbows, hover the elbows off the mat. I'm trying to spin my inner elbows to face the front of the mat. I'm imagining I've got a block in between my elbows. I'm hugging onto that block. Big breaths. Good. When you're ready, just come back to that down dog, and then on your next exhale, bend the knees, look forwards. Step or float, your choice. Big breath in. And exhale to fold. Okay, inhale, chair pose, bend the knees, lift the chest. One more of these, squeeze the bum. Exhale to fold and release, tucking the chin. Okay, inhale, lengthen through a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands. You can step or float, vinyasa, or skip it out and just go straight to your downward facing dog. When you're there, inhale, sweep the right leg up and back. Exhale, step through, spin the back heel. Inhale, warrior one, stand tall. And then exhale, open wide to your warrior two. Good, big breath in to reverse your warrior. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. Try and get the palms flat when you step back and round the upper back when you step back. So you get that strength through the shoulders. Okay, inhale, left leg sweeps to the sky. Exhale, step through, spin the back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, open wide to your warrior two. Big breath in to reverse your warrior. And then same thing, as you exhale, both hands come down, press the mat away, round the upper back as you step back. Good, moving through a vinyasa or skip it out. And we'll meet in our down dog. Okay, so your choice. You can take another round of that if you like. You can take a child's pose or a puppy dog pose. Or maybe you're going to think about coming into a handstand practice. So those of you coming into handstand practice, remember there's ways we can work this without even having to hop up. So you shorten your downward facing dog and kind of walk in halfway. Just going to tuck myself in. I seem to be coming apart a lot today. Right, okay, so in your handstand practice, it's a shorter downward facing dog. Then you lift the right leg to the sky, and you're going to bring the shoulders in front of the wrists. Then we're going to lift the left heel and see how you can bring some weight into those hands. Good, press the mat away, and then think about swapping the feet over, so left leg to the sky. And then come right onto the tiptoes of that right foot. Weight is forwards, pressing the mat away. Good, and release. Wherever you are, we'll just meet in a ragdoll. If you're still taking your hops, feel free to carry on, just meet us when you're ready. We'll all take some really big breaths in. And maybe just clear it out through the mouth again. Okay, hands down to the mat, heel toe the feet together. Okay, inhale, chair pose. So coming back to that chair pose. So once again, I really want you to think about working the muscles of the bum. Super important, really big stabilizers for our lower back and our knees. So I want you to think, pull the bum up and in, and then think about our core muscles. So our deep abdominals, draw the ribs in like they're knitting in towards one another. Weight should be in the heels. Okay, big breath in. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to twist to the right. So left elbow is going to wrap around that right thigh. Open through the chest here. Slightly lean back. And then think about taking variations. So some of you might want to open arms. We'll come to your side crow practice. Some of you might be just working on the twist. So have a little look at your knees. Your knees often aren't in line. So the left knee will want to move forwards as the hips move. Keep those knees in line. And try and allow the twist to come from the spine and not the hips. Okay, wherever you are, we're going to meet in this chair twist. Then we're going to take a little look down and start to draw the left heel towards the bum. Okay, here you've got to squeeze the inner thighs, keep the heel drawing up towards the bum, and then see if you can start to extend that left leg behind you without putting the left foot on the mat. Good, either point or flex the foot, keep the twist, keep your focus, see if you can lift the left heel in line with the hip. Good, when you're ready, softly touch the toes down. You might need to shift as I'm doing, just moving that right foot further out to the right, and then finding my twist again. Okay, opening through the chest. Again, you can work variations here, so you can work arms open, you can work a bind, You might even want to work side crow if that makes sense for you. Otherwise, just stay with the twist. Big breaths. Okay, from here, we're going to lift up to a high lunge. So big breath in, reach the arms tall, breathe into that right butt cheek if it's feeling like it's burning already, like mine is. And then I want us to work our tummy again. So as soon as we move into a high lunge, I know I bang on about it, but we tend to just allow these ribs to pop out. Try to pull the ribs back in like they're knitting in towards one another. And you should notice straight away those tummy muscles just zip up. Okay, reaching the arms tall. You can keep that lift in the chest, but just keep the ribs knitting in. Back heel is lifted high. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, hands are going to move to heart center. We're going to come up to a warrior 3, but what I want you to do is try not to kick into it. So you're going to lean all your weight forwards and just gently lift that left leg off the mat. Left heel kicks away, so my foot is flexed straight away, kicking it up and back. Chest is moving forwards, but my ribs are drawing in. Any arm variations you want to take here. Good, and then let's bring the hands down to the mat or to blocks. Lift the left leg high for a standing split. So here, if you want to take another handstand practice, if that's in your practice, go for it. Otherwise, maybe starting to walk the hands a little bit closer to that right foot. Maybe wrapping one hand around the foot. Maybe thinking about lifting that left leg just a little bit higher. Good. Okay, wherever you are, we're going to take a big breath in to reach that left leg high to the sky. And then as you exhale, left knee tucks in behind the right knee. You're going to come down into a little squat. All the weight is in that right heel. On your inhale, lift the left leg up and back behind. On your exhale, tuck left knee in behind the right, squeeze inner thighs, and go as low as you can. Good, last one. Inhale to lift. Exhale to tuck in. Come as low as you can. Get that left foot active and strong. Weight is in the heel. Inner thighs squeezing. Maybe you start to lift your hands off the mat. Maybe just one hand, maybe both. Give it a go. Couple more breaths. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. Hands down to the mat. Step it back. And we come to a high lunge. Big breath in. I wouldn't be surprised if your bum is burning by now. Just breathe into it. If you need to shake out and kind of come out of the pose and shake out, then do. Then just reset your focus. Big breath in. As you exhale, open wide to your warrior 2. So shift the feet back. Nice and wide with those feet. And then I want you to imagine that you are ripping the mat apart with both feet. And then at the same time, inner thighs hugging up and in. So again, it's these kind of opposites that are working. Okay, on your inhale, reverse your warrior. Reach up to the sky. You can take your half bind if you like. Breathe a little bit deeper as you try and lift up and away from the pelvis. Good, okay, one more big breath in. And then as you exhale, come back to a warrior 2. We're going to take an inhale, straighten through that front leg. Whew. And then exhale, reach forwards and down, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So for me in my triangle pose, I just shorten the stance a little bit. And if you want to take different variations with the arms, you can. But what I want you to think about, especially if you're a little bit more experienced in the practice, this right hand tends to be really heavy and we dump the weight down. Try and keep it light, almost just hover it off the leg, and then you'll notice that the right-hand side of the body has got to work a lot harder. Breathe a little bit deeper. And then from here, we're going to come into side angle. So you're going to bend the right knee. You can take your variation. You can go forearm to thigh, hand to the inside or the outside of the foot. Some of you might want to bind. I'm taking forearm to thigh. I think this is a really nice way to open the chest. But I want you to think, if you go forearm to thigh, what tends to happen is that right shoulder pulls forwards. And it's just lazy, kind of hanging out towards your cheek. Pull it down the back, like you're pressing out of your shoulder, like your shoulder's pulling apart. Your shoulder blades are pulling apart. Good, okay, from here, half moon. So you're going to find where your right hand's going to go first. And then you're going to try and lift the left leg without kicking up. I did a little kick. But try not to kick up too much. Left arm to the sky when you're ready, and then take your variations. So if Chapasana is in your practice, you'll bend that left knee, and you'll catch hold of the left foot, either the inside or the outside of the foot, and then you'll kick into the foot. Find your focus, find your balance, find your breath. Lots of things going on. Okay, so this next transition, really important. What I see in class is people just at this point give up and let go. Try to move slowly back to a warrior two. So bend the right knee, keep your right hand where it is until the left leg touches the mat, then lift the right hand. And then from here, inhale, reverse your warrior. And as you exhale, you're going to bring both hands down to the mat. Okay, lower the left knee here, low lunge. Wow, my butt cheek is burning. Okay, big breath in to reach the arms tall. So here, what I want you to do is try to press away from this front thigh. What tends to happen is we just relax into it, press up and away, lift through the chest. Remember, ribs are still knitting in. And the more you drive through that front heel, the more space you're going to get through the front hip. Your variation with your arms, maybe you want to interlace the fingers, place them to the back of the head, elbows wide. Breathe into the front of the body. Okay, take one more big breath in. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. Okay, from here, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, left hand stays down, right arm reaches to the sky. So we're now in a nice open twist. So what's going to want to happen? Left shoulder's going to want to collapse forwards again towards the cheek. Pull it down the back. As you do that, think about looking at your left inner elbow crease. We want to wrap the inner elbow crease forwards, or the elbow crease forwards. That way, once again, we're getting that serratus working. Okay, from here, spinning onto the outer edge of that left foot, thinking about your side plank, your variations, keep that shoulder strong. So left shoulder down the back, inner elbow crease wrapping forwards. Good, okay, from here, we're gonna come to plank pose without collapsing into it. So try not to let gravity take you. Press the mat away. So once again, we're rounding the upper back, shoulder blades apart, big breath in. Exhale, Vinyasa, your choice of Vinyasa. Big breath into your back bend. Big breath out to your downward facing dog. Okay, so from your downward facing dog, we're gonna lower the knees. Okay, so if you have a strap, great. If you don't worry about it, you don't need to do this. But if you've got a strap at home, you're gonna place your strap to the upper arm, so it's just above the elbows. So the strap needs to be quite tight so that your shoulders and your elbows are in line. You don't want to have the strap slack, you want it to be nice and taut. Okay, remember if you don't have a strap, you're just doing this without a strap. So we're going to bring the forearms down to the mat. I should remember to always point out, when we come into Dolphin, when we come into forearm stand, you do not have to have your hands parallel. What you can do is bring your hands in. For a lot of people, this is a lot nicer on their shoulders. So maybe think about bringing your hands in, or even interlace the fingers. It just changes the position of the arm bone and the joint, and for some people it creates more space and it's a lot nicer. So for me, I just have my hands a little bit closer together. Now what I'm going to do is come up into my Dolphin. So I've tucked my toes, lift my hips, I am walking my toes towards my elbows, shoulders are stacked over the elbows. And what's happening, what's nice about the strap, is that it's giving me a little bit of support. So if you're someone who struggles with shoulder stability, then what will want to happen when you're in this without a strap is that your elbow might want to pop out to the side. So this just brings a little bit of strength and stability. Okay, if you're popping up into your pincher or taking variations here, maybe lifting one leg, lowering, lifting the other leg, lowering, go for it. I just want you to notice how it feels with the strap. So remember, press the shoulder blades apart from one another. Press the mat away. Think about the armpits pressing back towards the back of the room. And then whenever you're ready, come into a child's pose. Just get rid of that strap. Such a tough pose, Dolphin. It never gets any easier. Okay, big breaths here. And we're going to come back to a downward facing dog. Okay, from your down dog, we're going to bend the knees, look forwards. Step or float to the front of the mat, and then big breath into your flat back. And exhale, fold, tuck the chin. Okay, chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend the knees and lift the chest. Okay, from here, on your exhale, hands to heart center. Let's twist to the left this time. So right elbow wraps around that left thigh. Your choice of variations, you might want to come into a side crow. You might want to open arms. For me, I'm just going to concentrate on the twist. Make sure my knees are in line. Really press that top hand down to open through the chest. Breathe a little bit deeper. My bum is still engaged. My inner thighs are active. And then I'm looking down. Okay, from here, right heel in towards the bum. Squeeze it close. Draw the inner thighs, inner knees together. Then start to extend that right leg behind you. Move super slowly. Either point or flex that foot. Try and keep the foot as high as the hip. Keep the twist. Keep your balance. If you wobble, don't worry. That's totally normal. Good. And then just step that right foot back behind you. If you need to shift your feet, you're in a twisted lunge. So back heel is lifted. Back leg is strong. Take your variations here. Maybe you want to bind. What I want you to think about doing is actually trying not to collapse down. We tend to get really lazy and be down here. Lift up, open the chest, think lengthen the spine. Okay, big breath in takes you to a high lunge. Reach the arms up. Okay, so remember what I said about knitting the ribs in towards one another so that your belly is super, super supported. Okay, big breath in here. And then as you exhale, hands to heart center. You're going to lean all your weight forwards. I'm going to come to a warrior three without kicking up. So that back leg just lifts super slowly. Good. And then in my warrior three, I'm kicking the heel away, trying to get my heel as high as my hip. And then I'm thinking about length. So the chest moves forwards, ribs pull back in. Remember, when the chest wants to move forwards and up, ribs want to pull out. It's always that little balance. Okay, standing splits, hands down to the mat, lift the right leg high to the sky. Okay, your variation. So if you're keen to do some more handstand hopping, then go for it. Maybe you take one hand to that left shin, maybe both. I want you to fold into that left leg. So for some of you, you're going to need to bend the left knee. And we're going to meet in our standing splits, taking a big breath in to reach the right leg higher. And then exhale, right knee tucks in behind the left knee. Go nice and low into this little squat. Inhale, lift back up, right leg to the sky. Exhale, tuck right knee in behind the left knee. Go low, weight into the heel, squeeze inner thighs. Last one, inhale to lift up. Exhale to pull back in. Okay, so right knee is tucked in behind the left knee. Weight is in the heel. Inner thighs are squeezing, belly's engaged. Maybe you start to lift the hands. Maybe just one hand, maybe both. Give it a go. Find your focus, find your balance. Good, hands down to the mat. Step that right foot back. Inhale, come back to your high lunge. So if you need to shake out that front leg, then do. Take a moment, just come and join us when you're ready. Okay, big breath in. Exhale, open wide to your warrior two. Shift the feet. Remember, I want you to get that sensation of ripping the mat apart with the feet, and at the same time, inner thighs hugging up and in. Good, really press through those feet. So your foot lock, which we call Pada Bandha, really important. Okay, inhale, reverse your warrior. So reach the left arm to the sky. Reach tall, breathe into the left-hand side of the body, and try and keep the bend of the knee. Okay, one more big breath in. Exhale back to a warrior two. Okay, from here, inhale, straighten that left leg. And then you're going to exhale, reach forwards and down, Trikonasana. So remember, you can shorten your triangle. If it feels like it's really overextended, then just shorten the distance between your feet. Your variation with your arms, remember I was trying to get you to work that left hand to be a little bit lighter, away from the left shin. Keep the chest moving forwards. And then come to a side angle. So for your side angle, we can go left forearm to left thigh, right arm sweeping to the front of the room, or the front of the mat, I should say. Some of you might take hand to the inside or the outside of the foot. Some of you might want to bind here. Okay, remember, left shoulder wants to pull towards the cheek, pull it back, down the back. Really nice and strong. Okay, half moon. So you want to have a little look where that left hand's going to go. I just walk my back foot in a little bit and then lift the right leg to the sky when you're ready. Either point or flex the foot. Good. See if you can lift the foot a little higher. And then think about taking hold of that foot. So you come into the Chapasana variation. So you might take hold of the inside or the outside of the foot. Remember in our half moon, the top hip is trying to rotate up to the sky, whichever variation you take. Good, okay, transitioning super slowly. Stepping that right foot back to warrior two, so bend the left knee, move slow. Like your transitions want to be like slow motion, like in the movies. And then from here, inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, spin both hands down to the mat. Lower the back knee. Whew, anyone else's left butt cheek burning. Inhale, low lunge. So reach up. Let the hips move forwards and down so you get that openness through the hips. Reach up. Some of you will take little back bend variations here, but really find the strength through that front leg and knit the ribs in. Good, okay, one more big breath in. As you exhale, let's bring both hands down to the mat. So you're going to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, right hand down, left arm to the sky. Watch this right shoulder. It's going to want to pull forward, pull it down the back, and then have a little look at the crease of the elbow. Spin that crease to face forward, using the muscles rather than using the position of the hand. Then from here, you've got nice strength to start to move into your side plank. Keep the shoulder moving down the back, energize through the fingertips, maybe the gaze lifts higher, lift the hips. Good, come to your plank pose without collapsing down, so you move slowly. Press the mat away, big breath in. Exhale, Vinyasa, or just press straight back to a downward facing dog. Okay, so from here, lower the knees again. So we're going to work our Dolphin pose, round two. Your choice. If you're kind of newer to it, use the strap again. I don't want you to get reliant on the strap, but it just shows how you have to work really hard to stop that elbow from dropping to the side. And it just might show you that kind of stability and that strength that you need. The other way is a bit harder. So you're going to get the block. You're actually going to place it in between your forearms or your elbows. It would just depend on your body size and the position of your arms. But what I want you to do is actually make sure that you hug the block with the forearms or with the elbows. So for me, because I bring my hands together, where that block fits is kind of a little bit more snugly into my elbows. Then I'm going to lift up. If you're taking the strap, remember it's on the upper arm. Okay, so I'm working my Dolphin with that hugging in. Elbows trying to keep close to that block. If you want to play with variations, go for it. But you'll notice how hard you have to work with this block. Everything hugging in, maybe walking toes closer. Ribs in, shoulder blades moving apart, armpits pressing back. When you're ready, child's pose. Maybe move your arms down by your legs and just sway your body from side to side. Okay, from here, coming back to our downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to bend the knees, look forwards. You can either step or float to the front of the mat. And then just take an inhale, look up, lengthen flat back. And exhale, soften and fold. Okay, let's inhale, root to rise, all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, from here, I'm going to take a big step out with your left foot, so you're facing the side of your mat. Hands can come to hips. And take an inhale, press the hips forwards, lift through the chest. And an exhale to fold into your legs. Okay, your choice. So you can come up into a tripod headstand if that's in your practice. You can stay here, folding forwards with the hands on the mat, or take your hands to the outer ankles, bend the elbows and fold yourself a little bit deeper. Or maybe you just think about bending into the right knee and keeping the left leg straight. So you come into like a little side lunge. And you just go from side to side, feeling into those inner thighs. Good, big breaths, wherever you are. If you're in your tripod headstand, I want you just to slowly come out the way you came in. Everyone else, you're just going to take an inhale, look up, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and fold. walk your hands round to the left foot at the back of the mat. Your choice of lizard. So you might just move the left foot further out to the left-hand side of the mat. You can come onto forearms, you can use blocks, you can keep your back knee lifted here and find some strength. The version I'm going to do is take my left hand to my right foot. I like this because it really opens up my quads, so the front of my legs, the front of my thighs, and my hip flexors get very tight. If you want to, you can come down onto that right forearm. Wherever you are, breathe. Good, and then from here, we're going to start to move into full or half splits. So use blocks as you need to here. I'm going to come into half splits. So the left foot is flexed. If your hands are lifted here, then pop blocks underneath. Some of you might sink all the way back. What I tend to think about is if I keep my hips lifted, I actually get a better stretch. Wow, I don't know if anyone can hear the wind, because I've got a little microphone on, but the wind is, well, you can see it with the plants. The wind is going crazy. Okay, coming forwards. We're then going to basically spin round to the right-hand side as if you're going through your straddle. You walk all the way around to the front of the mat, and you're going to come into your lizard pose on the other side with the right foot forwards. So take your variations and breathe into it. Good, okay, and then from here, we'll come into full or half splits. So I've kind of talk about it a lot in my public classes, and I talk about when we find these stretches where we are thinking a little bit more about flexibility rather than strength. We want to be really mindful. So when we work strength, I'm really keen for everyone to work really hard for trying to find strength in their bodies. But when you're finding openness and flexibility, just find a good stretch. You don't need to go super deep. In fact, you don't want to go super deep because it's much more likely that you'll injure yourself. So just always being mindful in your stretches. Okay, come forwards, rebend the right knee. This time you're going to step back to a plank pose. Your choice, Vinyasa, or straight to a downward facing dog. Good, and then from here, lower the knees. Come onto all fours. Inhale, reach the right arm to the sky. Exhale, thread your needle. Come down onto the right shoulder. Here, the version I like to take is I press the mat away with the left hand, and it just gives me a little bit more of a twist through those shoulder blades, that area we've kind of been trying to draw a little bit of focus towards. Come back to all fours. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, thread your needle. Come down onto that left shoulder. Right hand presses the mat away, and you get a little bit more of a twist through the spine. Coming back to all fours. And then let's lift up and come into a camel pose. Hands to the lower back, squeeze the bums. Remember, glutes, bum muscles, really important for our back bends. Lift through the hips. Lift away from the hips, I should say. Press the hips forwards. Lift through the chest. And then some of you might find your heels. If you want to take other variations, go for it. When you're ready, let's come back to a downward facing dog. No rush there. I just can't speak in my back bends. Okay, from your downward facing dog, let's take an inhale, sweep the right leg up and back. Exhale, pigeon pose, right knee to right wrist. Take a moment to set this up. So come forwards and down when you're ready. What I want you to do is notice, do you have pain in your knee? If so, you want to take a different pose. I'm going to show you that now. So you're going to go onto your backs, and you're going to wrap the right ankle across the left thigh, and then you're going to interlace the fingers behind that left thigh, and you're going to press the right knee away and draw the left thigh in. Ideally getting a good stretch to the outer right hip, outer right thigh. That kind of area, glute, IT band, hip. Okay, so if you are in your Pigeon Pose, what you're going to do is lift up onto your hands and then just sink the right hip down, swing the left leg all the way around. So we're effectively in a little seated position. Right sole of the foot in towards the left thigh. From here, left hand to right knee, right hand goes behind you, inhale, lift through the chest, coming into a little twist, exhale, look over the right shoulder. Notice here, the left hip's going to want to lift up, try and pull it down. Like you're pulling the left hip down towards the mat, but the chest is opening and rotating to the right. Big breaths. From here, keep the left hand where it is, right arm reaches up and over, as if it's kind of trying to find the left foot. Some of you will find the foot and take that little stretch. Otherwise, just keep the hand dangling in midair. It really does not matter if you get the foot, as long as you get a stretch to the right-hand side of the body. Okay, on your next inhale, right arm's going to come behind you. I want you to come up onto that right shin. You're going to lift the hips and reach the left arm towards the back of the room. And then on your exhale, sink the hips back down. Left hand takes right knee. Right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, right arm back. Lift through the hips, lift the chest. And exhale, release. Left hand, right knee. Right arm up and over. Good, last one. Inhale, lift up. And exhale to release. Find your side stretch. Good, from here, come to center. Cross at the ankles. You can rock over the feet. Either move through a vinyasa or just step straight back to your downward facing dog. When you're there, inhale, left leg to the sky. And then exhale, left knee to left wrist, pigeon pose. Remember, if you're coming onto your back this time, it's left ankle across the right thigh. If you're staying in your pigeon pose, breathe into this, see if you can relax and release into it, which I know is hard, but try to use your breath so that you're not gripping the muscles, so you're not holding on. Okay, we're going to start to lift up. Remember, sink onto the left hip and just swing the right leg round. So left sole of the foot is to the inside of that right thigh. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lift, and exhale, twist. Just remember here, that right hip's going to want to pull round, so just keep it pulling back and down. Use your breath, find your twist. Keep the spine long. Good, keep the right hand to left knee, left arm reaches up and over. You find that lovely side stretch. Good, breathe a little bit deeper into the left-hand side of the body. And then from here, inhale, left arm back, come onto the left shin, reach the right arm to the back of the room. And then exhale, slowly coming down, right hand to left knee, left arm up and over. Inhale to lift, use your breath, maybe close your eyes. Exhale to find that side stretch, right hand, left knee, left arm up and over. Last one, inhale to lift, open it out. And exhale to come down. Okay, coming to center. Just release the legs out in front. Arms out in front, round the spine. Come down slowly, one bone at a time. Good, once you get there, come all the way onto your backs and hug the knees in towards the chest. So we're going to come into our final back bend. Bridge, wheel, or supported bridge. So your choice here. So if you're taking your normal bridge, you're going to work your bum and your legs as much as you can. So we're going to find that strength. So you're going to lift up through the hips. Make sure your feet are relatively close to your bum when you lift up. Then what I want you to think about is squeezing the butt. Lift the hips, but draw the ribs in. So as soon as you draw the ribs in, it becomes much stronger in the belly. Now I want you to think about dragging the heels back towards your shoulders. If you want to, you can interlace the fingers underneath the back. But really think about that tractioning of heels back to shoulders, ribs in, and it will be a totally different pose. Good, one more big breath into the front of the body. And then exhale, gently release all the way down. Hug the knees again. Rock from side to side. And we're gonna end with a twist. So, knees are gonna drop over to the right. Head moves over to the left. Arms into a nice wide T. Close down the eyes. If you wanna wrap one leg over the other, you can. Good, and then coming back to center, come over to the other side, so knees over to the left, head over to the right. Good, and then coming back to center, give your knees a final squeeze, final little hug, rocking from side to side. And then take a big breath in through the nose. Side out through the mouth. Shavasana. Release the arms, release the legs. Any little wiggles you need to take to find your place where you can be still, where you can relax, where you can let go. So I've been saying in my classes this week that I can help you guys a lot with the physical stuff. I can come and prod you in class and tell you to switch that muscle on or change that position of the hand or try this out or try that out. But when it comes to kind of the internal practice, your practice here in Shavasana, it's up to you. So do your best to find some focus, because that's really what our meditation is about, just finding some focus, whether it's on the breath, whether it's on the body, or maybe you have some music playing, or if you're like me and you can hear the wind blowing outside, maybe that's your focus. And then no matter how many times you get drawn away by the hundreds of thoughts that are in your head, you just keep coming back to that point of focus. So if you have the time, I would love you to stay here for 5-10 minutes, if you can. Otherwise, you're going to start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and begin to deepen the breath. Hug your knees towards your chest. And when you're ready, come up to a seated position. Eyes closed. Hands towards the heart. And we'll end with a big breath together. So inhaling through the nose fully and deeply. Open mouth, release. Namaste, everyone. As always, thank you so much for practicing with me. I appreciate it so much. And I love to hear your comments and your ideas. So please do comment below if you get a chance. And hope to see you guys